What is good? It is your boy Mr. Frenzy from MrFrenzyProductions.com, and we're going to make another beat in this construction pack series, okay? So I basically went along and explained exactly what to do to make a beat using a construction pack. Made it, easier for you to kind of understand, the layers and stuff and the components of making a beat. In this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a full entire beat, okay? Get you a little bit of practice. So go ahead and follow along if you'd like. All right. So this is the beat that I'm going to use in this construction pack, and this is in the Next Gen Trap Construction Kit 2 at MrFrenzyProductions.com. You can go ahead and pick it up, or you can get it in the Complete Frenzy bundle. Link in the description below. Anyway, this is the beat that we're going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remake this beat, essentially, okay? So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the harmonic section, okay? Now the harmonic section is like the chords and stuff, but it's not always going to be apparent, like some piano chords and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes it's like a riff. So right here, the ARP is the harmonic section. You can tell that it has more than one sound to create this texture or this chord, basically, okay? It kind of sounds like a guitar. I don't remember exactly what I did to make this, but basically it's the foundation of the entire beat. So first off, before I drag and drop this on the grid, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to bring down the BPM to 130 beats per minute. And the reason why is because this beat is at 130 beats per minute. If you don't do this, then you're going to have one hell of a time trying to snap everything to the grid. Okay? So now that we got that, I'm going to take this ARP and I'm going to put it on the grid. Done. All right. Next, I'm going to place my song or my beat into song mode rather than pattern mode, because if I play in pattern mode, it doesn't play anything. Put it in song mode, it plays. I'm also going to make sure that everything is okay by playing the metronome with it as well, because sometimes the producers, they think it's at a certain tempo, but it's actually not at the right tempo, or sometimes they make mistakes. So let's actually do that. Let's put the metronome on to make sure that everything is good. Sounds good to my ears. I'm going to take off the metronome now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shave off the tail here, because I don't need the tail because it's not at the end of the song. So I'm going to hit C to cut this tail off right here. Okay? Done. Okay, great. All right, next off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a good listen, okay? Great. So now after 4 measures, I'm going to want to bring in another sound. Now, how do I know whether it's 4 measures or not? Well, here's measure 1. This is measure 2, measure 3, and measure 4. It's going to be after the 4th measure. So I'm going to place my next sound on 5 on the grid, okay? I'm going to explain this all in theory in 2.0, okay? So just bear with me for right now. I'm not going to get too technical. So I'm going to go listen for another sound. What else we got here? Let's try it. Let's bring on these strings. Let's put in after 4 measures. Okay, so there's a little bit of a key change. I can tell you exactly where it is too. So I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to repeat this loop. So by doing that, all I have to do is just cut here after 4 measures. I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to duplicate this. So basically, the intro starts, and then it starts again. It loops over, hence the reason why it's called a loop. Okay, so that goes well together. And also, I sliced this and I put it next to this one too, because these two are in key with one another. Let me show you. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to listen back. Okay, now I want the beat to drop in pitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back over again. So what I have here is the loop that actually cycles around, so the entire loop, because the entire loop is actually 8 measures long. It's actually from here to here, okay? And from here to here is the same exact thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this out, and I don't need it anymore. I'm just gonna work with the full entire loop in this case. So this is the full entire loop. Let me show you. Great, awesome. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in another sound, okay? So I'm gonna bring in another sound right here, okay? Let's have a listen. What else we got here? How about some bells? Bring in the bells. Okay, so the bells. It wouldn't be wise to put the bells in right here because they're gonna be out of key. Let me show you. See what I mean? The bells start at the start of the loop, so I'm gonna have to do this. And watch the pitch bend goes lower. Now I want the bells, let me actually listen. So I actually don't know exactly where I want the bells. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen from the very start, okay? Always make sure that you listen from the very start to know where you're at, okay? Because if you start going from, you know, in the middle of the beat, you might get confused on what you actually want, okay? So let's start from the beginning. Let's kind of get a good vibe. Okay, so what I want is I want the strings to come in and then I want the bells to come in, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to copy and paste this. So to copy and paste, all you have to do, let me show you that again. So what you have to do, let me get rid of that, is you can hit Shift Control, click on the grid and drag over everything that you want to highlight. Then you hit Shift, click, and you can drag it over, okay? There's another way you can do it too, which I'll show you later on, okay? Okay, so let's have a listen. Yeah, so basically that's what I want. I want the strings to come in, then I want the bells to come in. Good, okay, so this is the foundation of the melodic section of the beat, okay? So now I'm gonna start thinking about bringing in some drums, okay? So I'm gonna start from the beginning again. Actually, you know, I'm not gonna put some drums in the intro. I'm actually thinking about either putting some drums in where the strings are or when the bells come in, okay? Okay, you know, I'm gonna put in some claps right where the strings are to kind of give that backbeat going. So I'm always gonna start with the claps or the snare drum to establish the backbeat, okay? Here we go. Cut this off. Now I think the snare's a little bit too hot or loud, so I'm just going to turn down the snare just a little bit. So all I have to do is go over here to the view channel rack, find snare drum, and see this little knob right here? This is the volume knob. So all I have to do is just click this and drag my mouse down, and it'll bring it down in volume, okay? And let's have a listen. Okay, cool. I think just the snare drum by itself is a little bit too weak, so I'm going to add a little bit of rhythm or drive by bringing in my hi-hats. See how hi-hats sound with it. Cool. Next off, I'm going to bring in my bass drum. Cut it right there. Okay, so I'm gonna have a listen. I'm gonna see if it actually makes sense for the kick drums to come in with the bells. It might not. Yeah, you know, I like it. All right, so I'm gonna bring in something else now. I noticed actually when I was bringing the kick that there's a bass here. Now there's a bass, which is like a dark Reese sort of moody bass, and there's also an 808. Now there's a difference, okay? So an 808 is mostly a drum, okay? It's a very, very low type of drum, okay? That has a quick attack and a very, very long decay. Now I'm not gonna get into the whole sound design ideas of it. I'm not gonna use the 808 yet. I'm gonna see if the bass kind of brings a little bit more mood to the bells. So I'm gonna take the bass. Oh, excuse me. I actually just brought in the ARP. Gotta hear the bass. See how that sounds together. Cool, awesome. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start it from the, not the intro, because the intro is just the ARP. Gonna bring it in right around where I'm thinking where the vocals start. So like a verse. Turn up my snare now a little bit. Great, so I like that. I really like the bass because the bass kind of, it really drives the beat, you know what I mean? And it gives it a lot of atmosphere and a lot of mood, which I'm all about. Okay, next up, I'm gonna add in some perks, some crashes, and then call this one just about done. I'm not gonna do any form of structure on this yet, because I wanna actually dedicate just a full-on module for structuring, because structuring can get a little bit complex. So I'm gonna bring in this open hi-hat, hear how this sounds. Yeah, sure. Let's bring it in. There we go. Bring that in with everything else. Adds a little bit more rhythm, which I'm liking. How about the side snare too? Now, a side snare is a snare that is usually in between the main snare, okay? So in music, it would be known as like a subdivision theory-wise, which I'll get to later. But it's the one that kind of hits at different points. Let me show you. So if I compare this snare, which is on the backbeat, which is on the 3 count, the snares are just around it. Gives it more rhythm. Okay, so that's what a side snare is, which is really, really important in trap music. Cool, and next I'm going to bring in a crash, because the crash will really lift up this part here. Let me show you what I mean. And also there's a reverse crash here as well. It's gonna take a while. Might not even sound at all. Let me drink it in anyway. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so reverse crashes usually have like a tail. All right, there you go. So reverse crashes is literally this crash right here. Oops. But it's reversed. So it reverses literally, it's reversed. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. I'll explain how to reverse stuff later on. All right, let's listen. Cool, so all in all, I like that. So this part right here with all of the instruments could be a hook or it could be a verse continuation. So now just let's listen to the entire third of a beat, I guess this would be called, from the start, okay? Make sure we like everything that we got here. Got a little bit carried away there. I actually wanted to see if I could get this over here to start bringing down the intensity of the beat. Okay, so that's known as like ramping and stuff like that. You build up tension and then you release tension so that it sounds like, you know, chill and stuff like that. It's little things that you can do to trick the ears to make the music actually sound different from what it actually really is. Okay, but I'm gonna get into ramping later. Okay, so this is beat numero dosito, and we're done with this one for right now. So I'm going to do another one. I'll probably do another one after this. But, I mean, obviously you'll get the notifications and all that sort of stuff. So, all right. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Mr. Frenzy Productions on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. This is Mr. Frenzy from MrFrenzyProductions.com, and I'll see you in the next one.